Like, let's work this out. Then, what is like a mistake that you made, right? That like got you caught up in something that you can explain to the people watching that is like an easy pitfall to avoid, like something that you could, that if you could go back and had to redo it all, that you would do differently. You feel me?
Yeah. I feel like I spent a couple years doing music the wrong way. Like first off, like I said, I'm a rapper and a singer, but I feel like my strong point is like singing than rapping. Like it took me a whole lot of time. Like I rapped for like a couple of years before I started singing and mixing it up with the rap and mixing and singing and rapping.
Right.
So I felt like if I had started out singing earlier, because everything changed when I like dropped this one song that I like sang on straight up. Like that's when like people started giving me attention and people started like, wow, who's this guy? But I was rapping for like a couple of years and these same people were like, oh, okay, it's fine. Man, it's dope and all that. It's got bars. Like, what's that? Like, they didn't give much attention as to now that I'm singing. So now that I'm singing, I just try once in a while chip in rap lyrics into my songs. Like I just chip in bars. Like I'm singing, but like I sing a bar.
Right.
I be like, wow, like he's singing it, but the punchline hits you still, though I'm singing it. So
That's
it
what's
took
up.
me a whole lot of time to like fuse that.
So what would the advice be, to try new things, to like to don't
Yeah,
be
exactly.
narrow minded? You know what I'm saying? Like don't.
Yeah, exactly. The industry is not one way. Like there's not one way to the industry. There are like multiple ways you can come in. There's like everybody is right. There's so many people rapping, so many people singing. Just have to find what's particular to or peculiar to you and find a twist around it. Just make it special to you. Like, okay, then they hear it like, oh, that's that guy. Like nobody else can replicate what you do. And it's not like something that's out there already. Like everybody's heard that shit.
Right. Can I ask you a personal question about that?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they get into music, right, or
Mm-hmm.
they get into whatever their field of interest is, right, they're
Yeah.
in that for a reason. So like, how am I trying to word this? Why are you doing this? Right? Like, what is your reason for wanting to be an artist and make music? Because I think most, now, in my experience, I would think most rappers, number one, aren't capable of singing. Like singing is a talent that is like way harder, in my opinion, than rap is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different skill set entirely. Where there's like physically shit that you have to train and hone in on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So most people aren't able to make that kind of a change. You know what I'm saying? Most people get into like hip hop because they want to be in hip hop. So trying something new might not be an option for them. You know what I'm saying? So why are you in this? What was different about you? Like, what is your goal? That it's like, man, I just want to make music, or is it like, yo, I just want to be famous, I just want to get rich? Like, what is your motivator that's like, yo, it allowed you to make that shift and find that talent? You feel me?
Yeah. So like most people didn't know, but initially I did start as a footballer. I played football for a couple of years. Like I played for Pepsi Academy, football academy, blah blah. I went to a sports school sometime when I was in high school for like 2 years. I went to a sports school. All that was nice, but I later like found out like, wait, this football thing is like just something I like. It's not something I see myself doing for a long period of time or impacting my generation. I just felt like I was out of place with this football thing. I felt like, okay, let me not try music, but I feel like music came to me like subconsciously, not knowing. Like I grew up in a kind of house, like I had big uncles around, aunties. I was like the smallest person in my house growing up. So like I had whole lot of music around me, from my neighbors to like early Sunday mornings. Like for example, let's say 10, 11 years ago, this time of morning, like music, gospel music blasting in the background, different type songs, hip hop songs. Like I had uncles who listened to Joe, who listened to Seal and all of that. And I had like people who listened to Cisco. I grew up listening to Cisco, Michael, like whole lot of music was around me. But I just absorbed it and I didn't know like I would actually be a musician or a singer. But sometimes I just picked up a pen one day. I'm like, let me even write the song. It started from there. Like, let me just write one song.
Bro, that's beautiful. Because like there are so many people who are in that same situation where it's like, man, I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm just living life. I'm trying things that I find interesting, and we're gonna see where the passion lies. And that's what it sounds like you're doing. You're just following what you become passionate about as you discover it.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly. That's accurate. So doing that, that way, I just feel like music is kind of like an escape for me. Kind of like that point where I can like go to and like really be me. I don't know if you get it. Like when I'm in the music, like when I just try to write, like I write stories or like come up with like scenarios, and sometimes I just like paint like a picture and I put myself in it. Like that's me putting myself in the music. Like I want it to be like sometimes from my experience or from the experience of people around me or things I see happening in my community daily. Like that's just what I'm trying to do with my music.
I fuck with it. I fuck with it. All right, my guy. I see you with your philosophical gems that you're dropping for us here. See, I told you this is gonna come out dope, dog. This is gonna come out. So when we're talking about the progress that you've made to get to the point where you're at right now, I think one of the things that we tend to do in media is we only focus on the wins. And that's why a lot of up and coming artists tend to fall into a lot of the same pitfalls as each other. And I think it's because we don't talk about a lot of the mistakes that we make along the way. So I guess my question to you would be about that, would be what mistakes have you made so far that has slowed up your process to get to where you're at, that you could stop another artist from walking into if you had had the chance to have a conversation with them about it?
For one, I'll just say this. I don't know. I feel like we as human beings, especially as human beings who are trying to figure life out, I don't think we can do without mistakes. People will try to save you from mistakes, but I think everybody at the end of the day goes out there and makes their own mistakes. So but I also think these mistakes sometimes they are part of the story, like they are part of the things that will get you to where you need to get to. But if I'm talking about myself as an artist, the mistakes I've made, I think what I would advise a young artist, focus on making a good song rather than making many average songs. Like don't invest that resource you have or resources you have. Take it, think about your best song, invest into that rather than taking 10 songs and saying I'm creating a project. And nobody knows you, bro. Like a lot of these guys will only listen to the first 3 songs on your project and they get tired and they move on. But then imagine you take those, like the money you used to do that whole project and you use it on one song that's very, very good. Push it. I think you would get more returns from that song than you get from a whole project that you have to beg people to listen to. For me, I've tried that and I think it works for me. I don't know if it will work for everybody, but I think I would be more interested to listen to an artist who I heard a song from that I like than listen to a project from somebody I don't even know, like somebody's story I can't even relate to, I don't have a clue about, So for example, I don't know, I'll just say this, but I believe if I tell you I dropped a project tomorrow, you might want to check it out because you're tired. But imagine I just come to you, Steve, and like, yo, I have a project. You've never heard of me before. You might listen to it because you love music, but you'll not be so hyped.
You might be in the inbox still. I might not have got to that just yet.
Exactly. So as a young artist, get people who are honest with you. Like, man, I have some people who are honest with me about my music. Sometimes they are too honest, but
what's the harshest advice that you've ever been given like that has given you the best results by actually listening to it? That's a dope question.
Harshest advice. I don't know if it's harsh, but my manager, he's my friend as well. His name is Nova.
Shout out to Nova.
He normally tells me to rewrite stuff. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't, because as an artist, at least for me, there are certain things I say that I feel like it might not sound lyrical, miracle, spiritual. It might not sound very lyrical, but it's just real and authentic. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So sometimes, so there are sometimes he tells me rewrite and I say no. But there are other times he tells me to rewrite and I actually do, and it's far better and I like it more. There was this challenge that they were doing one time. Forgotten the title of the song, but it was a South African artist. I wrote a verse for it and he was like, nah, this is not good enough, and write it again. My feeling was hurt, like my ego was bruised a little. But I was like, okay, let me try it. And what I wrote, I was like, whoa, this is far better. I actually told him thank you. So it's a balance to know when to listen and when not to listen. But I don't really.
That's solid advice, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, because he told me not to drop tired. Do you believe that?
Never mind. Nah, he's off the list. That's my shit. He's off the list.
He told me not to drop tired. He said he felt like his song was too sad. You know, like, you know, so
Yo,
it's
the
like,
world
nah,
is sad, my guy. Like times are
exactly.
fucking sad right
Exactly.
now.
But I told him I wanted to drop it. So this is the thing. When I told him I wanted to drop it, we agreed that I should just do an Audio Mac release, like just put it on Audio Mac and let it be there, you know. And when we dropped it on Audio Mac, people started saying, "Yo, Apple Music, Spotify, we want this." Like that was when he realized that, oh, people actually like the song. Let's get it on other streaming platforms. We got it on other streaming platforms. This song was like huge in my state here. Radio stations, they were playing it. I didn't have to pay a dime. You know, when they made a list for the top 20 songs from last year, that song was number 7, you know, with little or no budget, you know,
Tough.
And it almost made me not drop it. I can't even lie to you, Steve. Like that song has given me some relationships that I would not had if I didn't drop it, you know. So for example, talking to you now, I've been watching you for a while, but I didn't even know if you knew if I existed.
I mean, now
You
you
know?
watch me discover you, my guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge shout out to Tucci. Like
exactly.